Hi guys, so today we are doing a review of the Canon IXUS 115HS. That is the box that it comes in, and this is the camera itself. But before we get into the camera and a bit of a tour around the camera, we'll just have a bit of a reminder of what's in the box. Keep in mind the USB cable is already out. It's on my desk as the motorbike goes past my house. So in the box, obviously you have the receipt from when you bought it. Another motorbike goes past. In here was obviously the USB cable, and then you have the getting it started guide, which is obviously what you get, your warranty card, and then there's your paper and your charger. There is a cable there for the TV. You plug that into your TV, and you also get a Canon charger, which looks like that. Very nice charger, and also comes with the cable which is plugged in. And that's actually a really good charger. It charges the battery quite quickly with a light indicator. So that's pretty much what comes in the box, and obviously the camera comes in the box as well. You get a rechargeable lithium-ion battery, which I'll show you in a minute, and that actually has some really good battery life. We have been doing a project at school which I've been using this camera for, and it lasts ages, and also doing YouTube videos. Obviously I'm not using the camera today, I'm using my other camera. But yeah, so let's get into what the camera looks like itself, where everything is located, and a tour around the camera, and later on I'll link you to some video quality tests which will be uploaded in the next week, and you can check those out. So let's get into the camera. Okay, so looking at the front of the camera here, you see the flash. You obviously see the microphone hole here. It does actually have quite a decent microphone. Remember, this is a 12.1 megapixel camera, and this has a wide angle lens. It's actually pretty wide, especially when you're taking photos and video. It's a lot wider than most camcorders. So yeah, so when you turn it on, obviously the lens comes out. It's not huge, that's what she said, but there is also a red eye indicator up here on the front. So that's the front of the camera. Obviously you have the Canon branding there. It says Canon IXUS 115HS. So that is the front. If we go onto the side here, there isn't too much there. Pretty much just says image stabilizer. If we go onto the bottom, obviously you have a tripod mount. You can put this on any tripod. Then here is where everything goes in. So we open this up. Obviously we click this little lever here, and the battery comes out. So this is the battery. It's very thin, but it lasts quite a long time. It's 750 mega hours, I'm not sure. But that is the battery there. Wait for it to focus. Sort of focusing, not really. Okay, so that's the battery. Pretty good battery. I've used it actually quite a lot, and this has gone through quite a few charges because I've used the camera so much. So that's the battery, and then if we have another look inside here, obviously you can see the big gap is where the battery goes, and then the smaller gap is where the memory card goes. If you're buying this camera, I suggest getting a high-speed memory card. I think mine is 30 megabytes a second. It's made for HD video, because obviously this camera does do 1080p video. So that's pretty much it. You put the battery in like that. Oh, sorry, other way, like that. And then it clicks in with a little orange thing, like that, and pretty much you're back. So on the side here, you obviously get the wrist strap, which is good. And then let's go to the back of the camera. I'll just clean the screen a bit. There we go. So you have quite a decent screen, as you can see there. I've got my photo set to shoot in 16:9, so that's why the aspect ratio of the screen is like that. But I'm just going to zoom in a little bit to the controls, and we'll wait for it to focus. Okay, so at the top you obviously have the movie record button. You have the option to shoot in 1080p and 720p, which is good. On a 4GB stick you'll get about 12 minutes of 1080p video and about 22 minutes of 720p. So next up you have the control dials, which you can see here. That's just for going through the menu and choosing other options, micro, macro, whatever. There's also a menu button and a playback button. The screen is actually quite decent. It's really good when you are video recording. You can see everything clearly, and you can also enable grid lines, which lets you shoot your image or your video in proportion to what the screen is. You can see everything will be on there evenly. Up the top there are a few buttons. Zoom in a bit. So first of all we have the this here controls the zoom, obviously in and out, and then you have the on and off button, which is located here. That's the shutter button there, and then you can switch from auto, and then you can go like that, and you can use all the other manual controls. Obviously up there is just branding, just saying that the camera does full 1080p video. Okay, so we're just going to take a quick look through the initial menu of the camera. You do have a few different things, such as autofocus, and just all these other settings which are useful, and then you have your mute, your volume, your sound options, your hints and tips, which is useful. You can adjust the LCD brightness, which obviously the brighter you go, the brighter the screen goes, but I prefer to have on 2 because the battery does last a lot longer. You have a startup image choice. You can choose from the Canon or the IXUS system. Either one is, I suppose, doesn't really make a difference. I use the Canon one. And then you can choose your file number. You can have a continuous auto reset. And then you can create folders monthly, daily, pretty much that's it. And then you have a lens retract. You can choose from 0 seconds to 1 minute. And then you have your power saving mode. You can also choose your time zone. You can change the date and time. You can change the video system from PAL to NTSC. And you can also control the camera via HDMI. You can choose your language, and you can reset everything. So a lot of people are wondering how do you actually change the settings of what aspect ratio the photos and what type of video you're going to film in HD, full HD or 720p. And pretty much what you press is this middle function button in the middle, and then you get the pop-up menu from the side, so you can select to use your self-timer. You can choose what image aspect ratio. So right now I'm in 16:9, but you can go 3:2. You can go 4:3. Go 1:1. So obviously you can see the size of the image changing as I go through all the different ones there. Okay, and the best one probably to go to is 4:3 because you're going to shoot in full 12 megapixel. But if you're shooting in 16:9, you're going to be shooting in 9 megapixel. So I suppose not much difference for some. As you can see, I've got the camera on auto and it's chosen macro because I'm so close. So there are a few different things that you can choose for that. Okay, so next up is the recording pixels. So obviously you can change them as you go along. You also have the compression, so you have normal and fine, and you can also choose your video. Now this is something that a lot of people are interested in. Now I usually shoot in 1080p, and it says 1920 by 1080, and then you see the time. So obviously I've got no memory card in this camera, but when I have my 4GB stick, which is in this camera that I'm using now, I get about 12-13 minutes. And then when I go down to 1280 by 720, I get about 22-23 minutes. And then obviously the lower you go, the higher you get. I get about 47 minutes on 640 by 480. Obviously the bigger memory card you have, the bigger, the more time that you're going to have to record. So guys, after going through the main areas and the menu of the camera, I really suggest if you're looking for a camera to do tech reviews, as I'm doing now, or to do some vlogging, or to do some music videos, pretty much anything, even your family shots. I'm going to be taking this on all the holidays and everything that we're going to be going on, because it's really small. So as you can see, that's my hand obviously, and that's the camera. So it is a very, very small camera. Easy just to slip in your pocket and go. It's even more convenient without the hand string here thing. But I just keep that on there just in case. Drop the camera. But this camera is really good if you're shooting just family photos, family video, even doing some professional things. Obviously you don't have all the manual control of a DSLR or a professional HDV camera, but for $218, which is what I paid for it here in Australia. Obviously it's going to be cheaper in America and probably cheaper online, but this was the cheapest that I found in the stores here in Australia. It's very good value for money. I've filmed a few other videos that have been filmed with this camera in 1080p, and it's very quick to import into whatever video editing you use. I usually use Final Cut now, and this camera works great. It films in MOV files, which is great for if you're editing with a Mac. And it's just pretty much a great all-round camera. The photo quality is excellent. I've taken some really nice photos, and the macro mode is even better, especially when we're going to get really up close and detailed. The photos come out absolutely beautiful. So guys, if you want to go ahead and buy this camera, I suggest you just Google the model and the brand name. Obviously Canon IXUS 115HS. And go and check out some other reviews. Make sure this is the right camera for you before going and purchasing this. Obviously with any piece of technology you have to make sure it's right for the purpose and what your needs are going to be. This was perfect for me, with good quality video, good quality audio, and also great pictures. So guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Remember to subscribe, and thanks.